Comic-Con! How's everybody doing? Y'all happy it's Sunday, Comic-Con?
Woo-woo!
Welcome to a very special episode of Marvel's The Pull List. We have a lot to talk about.
So much.
I'm Ryan, a.k.a. Agent M.
And I'm Angélique Roché, a.k.a. Angélique Roché.
Yes. Now, Angélique is amazing. She hosts a show called Marvel's Voices.
As well as I co-host a little show called Marvel Live with you.
That's right. So she's going to be helping me out today. Marvel's The Pull List is a weekly show we do. It's a podcast. It's a video show. We talk about all the Marvel comics that come out every week. You want to know what is out on a Wednesday? We're the show to tell you surprises and fun stuff without spoilers. We get very excited. We tell you our favorite comics. We tell you all the good stuff. We give you our picks and all kinds of stuff about Marvel Unlimited as well.
Yeah, basically Ryan gets to do the thing he loves all the time.
I try.
Yeah.
I try.
And the cool thing about Marvel Unlimited, for those of you who love comic books, is that there are 25,000 Marvel comics on Marvel Unlimited at your fingertips, which I love.
Is everybody a Marvel Unlimited subscriber here? We got some. We're going to tell you a little bit about Marvel Unlimited, why it's so fun, why we love it so much. But yeah, 25,000 comics, the app, so much cool stuff. You could download it to your device. You could take it on a plane with you. I know we're traveling back to New York tomorrow, so I've got some comics loaded up. It's really,
that's
really
your
helpful.
cell phone, your Kindle. That's literally any device that you have.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Now, we need some help from you guys. We're going to be talking about some books, some picks that we have for Marvel Unlimited. We're
going to be booing all of Ryan's picks because, you know, they're not as good as mine.
Boo me, don't boo the comics.
Okay, you're right.
That's right.
Just boo Ryan.
Yeah. But we can't do this alone. We're going to tell you some really fun picks. Like maybe our desert island picks that are in Marvel Unlimited.
We get five
each.
desert island picks.
Yeah.
But we do have some guests.
Oh,
look at that.
They made a sweet little graphic.
A little baby palm tree.
Aw.
Go stand next to the palm tree. I'm going to invite our don't hit that video screen, though.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous.
We are going to invite up two amazing people who are going to be helping us introduce their picks as well. Seanan and Mcguire.
Give it up for Sean, and writer of Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, and the new Ghost Spider comic.
And please have a seat. And Robbie Thompson.
Hey, give it up for Robbie. Robbie's writing he's writing some Star Wars right now. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, so we're very excited now. How are you guys doing? How's Comic-Con been so far for each of you?
Exhausting.
Exhausting, yeah.
Good.
It's amazing. Day 54. I can't wait for day 55.
You have like a journal on day 62 of Comic-Con. I was hunkered down in the bunker. We only had rats to eat.
Only rats?
Yeah, only rats.
I guess the hamsters ran out. Cool. So, Robbie, I'm so glad you're having a good time. Seanan, I'm so glad you're having a good time. We had a chance to ask you both about your picks, which we absolutely love, and we'll get to that. But first, I'm going to put Ryan on the hot seat.
Well, look, you want them to boo me, and I'm sure you guys will heckle me.
Maybe heckle.
But
if they heckle you, though, here's the thing. Do you have freebies? Is that what you have?
Free months of Marvel Unlimited that we're going to give away to folks here so you guys can try it out. So we want you to get hyped. We want you to cheer. We want you to tell us what you think as we get through all these comics. All right.
But also,
yeah,
for those who give the best heckling to Ryan, I have the Auntie Monica Award, which is a lovely hat from Marvel's Voices. But really, don't heckle him. I really do love Ryan. No, seriously. He's a nice person. But we will be also giving out, for those who are doing audience participation, Marvel's Voices hats during the show.
Yeah. All right. So what we do on the show every week, we talk about our picks. So I have 5 picks. Can we throw my picks up? Okay. I'm going to tell you, give me 5 minutes or so. I'm going to tell you why these picks are amazing. So first up, Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe is so dark, you guys. It is a nightmare. I love it so much. This is one of the first, maybe the first comic that Garth Ennis wrote for Marvel. And in it, it changes a little bit of Frank Castle's story in that his family is killed in the middle of an alien invasion while the superheroes are protecting Earth. But accidentally, all his family is killed, and he rushes to the scene. he kills Jubilee, he kills Cyclops, he kills a whole bunch of people in anger.
Would you say that he kills the Marvel Universe?
From there,
It's right in the
he
title.
kills
It's right
the
there.
Marvel Universe.
Right there.
Yeah. It's kind of like a what if. Now, you guys hear about the news recently about the What If show coming? So if you're hyped about What If, this is a great book to give you an idea of what that kind of story is going to be like. So
Yeah.
I like bleak stories. Do you guys like bleak stories?
I like
Yeah.
bleak stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Bleak stories are
Who
good.
doesn't love bleak stories?
All right, second one, talking about bleak, is Infinity Gauntlet number 4. Is everybody read Infinity Gauntlet? Yes. Maybe we'll give out a couple of these to people who have definitely read Infinity Gauntlet. Thank you, thank you. Infinity Gauntlet number 4 was one of my picks because this is the giant battle issue. This is the one where all the heroes make it out to Thanos' his little party island, and they go, and it starts with Thanos having frozen time and just laughing. And it is a nightmare. The way he kills some of the Marvel characters, again, is really bleak. I learned a lot about myself while putting this show together.
I'm
for
learning
you
a lot
guys.
about
I'm
Ryan now,
learning
too.
a lot about you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot darker side than I thought.
You're such a nice guy, Ryan. This is a little creepy.
I know.
Usually it's like sunshine and rainbows. Now it's just murder and death. And
Murder
dismemberment.
and death.
Sunshine and murder.
Sunshine and murder. Okay,
Sunshine and murder. I like that
That's
tagline.
my brand.
Yeah, yeah.
But this one is really wild. There's one of the most horrific moments in Marvel history for me is Thanos is fighting Namor and She-Hulk at the same time, and they're just going after him, and he just touches them. And then over their whole bodies grows this living moss and suffocates them and then just turns them into
look,
smoldering ruin.
I'm just going to come over here with you guys and just
That's
watch
very
him
the lonesome
and
death of
judge.
Jordy Verrill.
There's a lot of, I'm sorry.
It's great. It's really great. Anyway, let's get on to the next
Ryan,
book.
there's a lot of really good decaffeinated brands that are on the market that are just as good as the real thing.
Oh, Robbie. My
Robbie.
third book is Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment.
can't.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I see some excitement
Yeah.
over here. Let's give a couple more, Triple P or Judy, to the two people, and raise your hand. You in the blue, She was raising her hand, and that guy.
I feel like
with
he's
the hand.
softening the blow of how terribly bleak these are by giving
great.
out free things.
And
I
then
like
you
giving
get
away
to
free things
see
to people who
all
know
the
this. So this one
organs.
is great. Doctor Doom's mom is in hell, and so
Good job.
Doctor Strange helps Doctor Doom try to find his mom.
I really want to heckle you on this, but this is like a GD masterpiece.
Right?
It's one of
Yeah.
the all-time great. I mean, look at that.
I
that
can't
cover
heckle
alone.
anything that involves Doctor Doom.
Yeah, or Mike Mignola. I mean, that's the realness.
It's
right
a
there.
beautiful comic. It is wild.
I didn't even know
You
that
get to
was
see
out.
some really cool mystic stuff. And if you guys are excited about maybe some new Doctor Strange stuff happening, this could be a great pick to read just for cool
Yeah, it's a perfect
possibilities.
standalone. Like if you want to get right into it, it's awesome. It's perfect.
And I know we've got some X-Men fans up here, especially you, Seanan. Big X-Men fans. I chose Uncanny X-Men 268. I see a lot of head nods in here. This one is like peak, amazing Jim Lee art.
great.
But it also has two stories, one set in the past, one set in the present. And it actually, Natasha, Black Widow, as a tiny little girl who gets to call Wolverine like her big uncle or little uncle in the story. It's really cute.
Aww.
It's a lot of fun.
But
And you
then
have
there's like lots of fighting.
Captain America and Wolverine teaming up in 1941.
Amazing.
It's really great. And my last pick is New Avengers number 22, part of the Civil War storyline. If you ever needed a comic to tell you why Luke Cage is one of the best Marvel characters, that's your jam right
Yeah.
there. That's the one. It's so good. Yeah.
you can't argue.
I
Yeah,
feel
give it
like
up.
I
That's such
didn't
a
get
great
to
comic.
heckle you enough, and I don't like it.
My
I don't
picks are so
like it.
good,
They
yo.
are
quality.
solid picks.
Solid.
Okay,
Solid.
who thinks my picks are pretty good?
I mean,
All right. All right.
None of you get hats. None of you.
I've already got one.
Well, those are quite interesting picks. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
But I think we should toss this over to Seanan.
Okay.
Can we put up Seanan's picks?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely see the X bias here.
Yeah.
You
Just a little bit.
I'm gonna duck
Are
so
you
they
an
can
X-Men
see
fan?
this.
Just a little bit. So I went with issue 4 of Emma Frost's highly underrated 2003 solo series. The covers are straight up cheesecake, but the contents are not at all. It follows Emma's early life when she's a teenager, coming into her powers, figuring out who she is. Issue number 4 is when we really start to see her develop the telepathic techniques that are going to carry her into her adult life in the Marvel Universe. It's also when we find out her brother Christian is gay. And that was one of the first positive on-page representations of a gay character in a Marvel comic book. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
She's immediately supportive of her brother. Her family is entirely horrible people. Like, it's a miracle Emma is as well-adjusted as she is.
Well-adjusted?
And it's not
Looking at where she comes from.
just really not ever going to say well-adjusted in Emma Frost, but okay.
Yeah.
Comparative to where she could have been based on her family, she's coming out of it real solid.
She could have been more like a character that Ryan would love.
That is correct. She could be showing everyone's organs off all the time.
I want to go to the next one for you, but has anyone not read this comic? Can we give a couple? Are you going to promise to read it in Marvel Unlimited if we give you...
They are fantastic. Again, despite the covers, they are appropriate for a teenage audience. They were written as part of the Let's Get Manga Readers into Marvel initiative.
Yeah.
So they're suitable for 13 to 16-year-olds. You look at those covers and you go, I'm not handing that to my 13-year-old daughter. They're beautiful pieces of art. They just didn't belong on those comics.
So your next comic?
My next up is Uncanny X-Men 101.
I mean, yeah, that's a solid.
Yeah, it's a solid.
That's
It's
legendary.
the first time we killed Jean Grey. There was a party.
You never forget your first time killing Jean Grey.
You don't.
Was there a party?
There was a party at my local comic book store.
Okay. I thought you meant there was a party
Not
in
the comic, but it also introduces the Phoenix Force, and that really recontextualized the whole Marvel universe. It's kind of rare to be able to point to one comic and go, this changed everything forever, and this really did change everything forever. There's so much we couldn't have done without the Phoenix Force kicking around, and Jean gets to be pretty impressive in that one, and Scott gets to be sad a lot.
I mean, Scott is sad
It is.
a lot in general.
Making
Yeah.
Scott sad is kind of a hobby,
Oh.
as is killing Jean Grey.
Wow. So your next comic.
Speaking of sad comics,
Well, next up we've got Amazing Spider-Man 121, which is the book that made, it's the book that made me stop reading Spider-Man for a long time because it's where they killed Gwen Stacy. And I did not forgive them for that for well over a decade.
And you chose this to be your top 5 on a desert island.
Well, it was sort of I was looking at as what are the 5 comics that if you had to explain yourself to someone in comic book form, what 5 would you hand them?
I love that.
And this is absolutely a part of my comic reader DNA. You know, I was never able to get away from the unfairness of Gwen's early death, the emotional turmoil it puts Peter through. You know, Peter Parker really became an adult in this issue of this run. And again, it changed everything for him for a long time. It also changed everything for Miles Warren forever because the Jackal's obsession with Gwen Stacy I don't think would have kicked off quite as hard if she hadn't gotten splattered like a pigeon on the pavement.
You are definitely a writer. That was just like,
Wow, that was-
splattered like
yeah.
a pigeon on pavement. And I was dark. I love it.
You show off organs. I just kill people creatively. As
right.
we move on, we hit the new X-Men run, issue number 116. That was Grant Morrison's relaunch of the X-Men, and this is where Genosha got burned. This is where the Sentinels descended and took out the island of Genosha, and Emma Frost developed her secondary mutation. What's fun there is that happened because Colossus was dead at the time, and he needed a bruiser. So he just added something on to Emma and let her start punching people. I think that's very cathartic for our girl. But that's also where you meet Negasonic Teenage Warhead for the first time. She is not the same character as in the movies. She's a telepath from Emma's telepathy class. And the bombs that the Sentinels drop hit just as she's supposed to find out the truth about Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dating the book a little bit.
Yeah, it puts it back in
Wow.
2004 a little bit.
It does.
I mean, you know, it ages well.
It does age really well. The dialogue in that book is spectacular. When Emma crawls out of the wreckage with Negasonic Teenage Warhead's body in her arms, the first thing she says is she's a very talented pianist. Find her hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Here we are.
All
Comic-Con,
right.
Sunday.
They did not shy away from the horrors of bombing an entire nation.
I'm very excited about your last pick.
My last pick is Exiles #1, which was the very first Exiles book written by Judd Winnick. And it brought back my girl Blink in a big way, the Age of Apocalypse version of Blink, who we first met with the line, clear the decks, critically injured mutant cheesecake coming through, and she never really varies from that. Our entire team is made up of alternate universe superheroes, mostly X-Men.
Yeah.
He stuck pretty closely to the X catalog, although occasionally it would branch out over time. And they are all plucked from their realities at the moment of their reality's destruction or their individual deaths so that they can go around helping to heal and rebuild the timeline. We've had a couple of Exiles reboots since then, but the first one ran the longest and was just the most fun. It managed to be remarkably serious while being completely ridiculous at the same time. So it is the epitome of sunshine and murder.
It really is. It's one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah.
Breaks my heart every issue.
Oh yeah, no, Exiles is just brilliant. And having these close versions of characters we know and love, it's kind of like the what ifs that you were proposing, where isn't it nice to get to see the Punisher mow down the Marvel Universe knowing that they'll really be okay? Well, isn't it nice to get to see Rogue and Magneto's son, who grew up and was healthy and stable, and oops, now he's dead, saving an entire reality from a maddened Charles Xavier.
Yeah,
Love it.
all that. All of Exiles, all of New X-Men, all of Uncanny X-Men, all
Marvel
of...
Unlimited.
Marvel Unlimited.
These are all on Marvel Unlimited. So
There are so many comic books there.
Yeah.
25,000.
That's too many comic books.
There's what? Too
Or not
many.
enough.
There's never too many comic books.
Judy,
I
find
didn't
a couple
sleep
people.
for 3 days.
Give away a couple of Marvel Unlimiteds, and now I feel like, Angélique, we got to put you on the spot.
No.
Yes.
It's your time to shine.
Let's
Come
see
on.
what you
Is it?
got.
Thanks. All right. So, no one is surprised by any of these. So I had to start off with one of my favorite comic books of all time, which is The Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 16, for many, many reasons, but mostly because one of my favorite characters was introduced in the coolest way, just walking down the streets of New York wearing a pantsuit, looking real foxy. Monica Rambeau, who in this she literally meets Peter Parker in a chance encounter by the Transit Authority. He's just trying to pick up some friends, and it turns into this amazing adventure where we get to meet members of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and of course, Spider-Man, since it is a Amazing Spider-Man Annual. And it's so incredible because this is, for the cover alone is so beautiful, not only because the art is great, but because it was a Romita series, father and son, put together this incredible cover.
And if you guys are excited, because we had some Monica Rambeau news come out last night, this is her first appearance.
It's her first appearance. It tells her entire comic book origin story. She is also from Louisiana, which makes me very happy. It's a little bit of my home state. And so, absolutely incredible. I own several copies, and I also have it on Marvel Unlimited.
The second one.
The second one, which is just, it is classic, period. Who has read God Loves, Man Kills?
There's a couple hands popping up.
A couple hands. You know what? You get an Auntie Monica award. You're
Give
welcome.
give him a hat.
Give him a hat.
Right behind you.
So this, for those who don't know, is the first X-Men graphic novel, but also is such an amazing story that has lasted throughout time, where you get an introduction to the X-Men, and you get an introduction to a lot of the themes of difference and inequality. And I could go into it, but I hear it's on someone else's list. So I'm not going to go too far into it. But for those of you who are trying to get into the X-Men, want to get into like the original X-Men, it is a standalone story. You can literally pick this up, which is why I love it so much. And without knowing anything else about the X-Men, get a really incredible introduction to a lot of the original themes and a lot of the original X-Men. This next one I love superficially because this is the first time in Uncanny X-Men 173 that we get to see Storm with her mohawk. Non-superficially, Wolverine's getting married. So, guys, I like a good bit of irony. And it's an amazing adventure that happens in Japan where we get to see Storm in her first amazing leather-clad mohawk. But I love it because she's also kind of battling this idea of dealing with her emotions between being an African goddess and being an X-Men and what does she do, and this manifestation in her new costume and hair on like, I'm going to do what's right for me.
And she also lost her powers and was dealing with that.
Yeah.
And was still the most bad, awesome character.
She still beats
on the-
Callisto
We knew what you were
down.
going to say. I agree.
I see some children, so I like calm my language.
I am that excited too. So for those who have like this, and also this amazing story arc is really great. So like, pick up 171, 172, 173, 174.
If you want to see Wolverine cry, read those issues.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it doesn't really work out well.
All right, why'd you choose Squirrel Girl?
I
What
chose
is the
this
issue?
Squirrel Girl, and I have to hurry up because I'm running out of time. Yeah, who loves them some Doreen? Give those people some hats. I love Squirrel Girl, too. I picked this because this is in the middle of a story arc where she is fighting Dr. Doom, but mostly I picked this particular issue because she fights with her older self. Literally, there's 2 Squirrel Girls in this issue. An old Squirrel Girl and young Squirrel Girl come together to beat Dr. Doom. And lots of Doom bots. What else do you want? And there's lots of bad dad jokes, which I love.
Yeah.
I love good dad jokes. It's amazing. Speaking of good dad jokes, my last choice is literally the living embodiment of a dad joke. It was very hard. I wanted to pick all of Next Wave, Ages of Hate. Who's heard of Auntie Monica? Great. Give those people a hat. No, but seriously, we go from the Monica Rambeau to the beginning to this amazing rendition of Auntie Monica as part of Next Wave, Ages of Hate. But really, the reason I picked this particular issue amongst all of the ones in this series is because there are killer koalas being thrown out of a plane
Right
and
up your alley, Ryan.
attacking.
This is one of my all-time favorite comic series. One of our editors,
Yes.
Nick Lowe, created a theme song for it.
Yes.
The full run is on Marvel Unlimited.
Yes.
It
and
is
you
so
have to
worth
read
your
it.
Do
time.
not miss
You
that series.
should do it for yourself.
Yeah. You've earned it.
Read it
All right.
multiple
My
times.
robot brain craves beer.
My robot brain does create beer.
Cuddly teddy bears of death.
Give it up for Angélique's picks. These are some really solid ones. But last, certainly not least, Robbie, Thompson.
Yes, that's me.
We have to talk about your picks. We have to talk about some stuff.
We have to talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
it's
we throw
time.
up Robbie's picks? Okay, great.
Look at that. I mean, come on.
That's so purty.
Some really solid stuff in here.
Oh yeah, Runaways.
Let's start with Fantastic Four 243.
So this is the greatest comic in all of Marvel's history.
Whoa.
Hands down.
That
Whoa.
is
without a doubt.
that
I
is
will
a
fight you.
strong opinion.
But here's why. It's the first comic that I ever purchased. I got it at a Perry's drugstore in suburbs of Michigan, and it was a gateway to literally from there to here. So that's why it's personally the greatest. But also look at that cover. It's galactic. Everyone's in that. I thought that was going to be every Marvel comic. I did not realize this was so special. But also the real reason it began my lifelong love affair with Galactus. He loves planets and eating them. I mean, who doesn't love Galactus? So yeah, that's the greatest comic in all of Marvel. I will fight all of you, but
He does
I don't want to
find
fight you.
planets
'cause you're
very
too nice.
tasty.
Yeah, you're too awesome. I won't. We'll work it out backstage.
No one has ever said I was too nice
Yes.
to fight before.
I feel like we just need some killer koalas and have them fight it out for
we'll
you.
have them fight on our behalf. And yeah, I mean, as you were saying, this comic, if you enjoyed the movies but are like, oh, there's too many X-Men books, I don't know where to start. This is a great way into it. Like the mythology is changing, and it's about to change even more radically in a new series. But like, this is a really beautifully, a really well done, one and done story. And it's like you said, it's meaty too. Like it's a longer read on Marvel Unlimited. There's a lot of really great books on Marvel Unlimited that are full stories.
Yeah, it's an original graphic novel. It's bigger. The actual
Painted.
print format is a little bit different
Yeah,
from a
it's-
regular comic.
It was album size. I remember buying this one in the store, and I was like, "This is literature." It was like very, very, very big deal.
And if you wanted to buy that comic here, you may pay upwards of $20 or $30 American, but on Marvel Unlimited as part of your subscription.
Well done.
Hashtag ad. And then, yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a slumber party? I mean, it's right there on the title, and it looks like it's written in Ryan's Murder Ink.
Yeah, that. I mean,
My
I don't know if I
blood.
want to be at that slumber party.
I mean, this is a beautifully written, beautifully drawn, and I believe if you look in the upper left-hand corner, that's the first appearance of Warlock, maybe? Question mark?
Yeah.
I think it is.
In the
Yeah.
corner box?
Yeah, well, I guess
It-
that's technically in the corner box, but then in the comic, he appears. And Warlock is like one of my all-time favorite characters.
Does everybody know who Warlock is? He's
Right?
a
Show
techno-organic
hands.
being.
Yeah, he is my Patronus. I love that dude. And if you're excited about like again like the X-Men comics that are coming out, I think this is like a really fun like it's a fun story about teenagers being mutants.
Yeah.
I mean, who among us?
And Warlock really introduced the concept that aliens can be mutants too.
Exactly. See, that's why we can't fight. I can't do it. And then, so Runaways. Anybody watch Runaways or read the new current Runaways? Yeah.
Hey!
So I love with 1,000 Suns the current Runaways book that Chris and Rainbow relaunched. It's amazing. I think some of it is on Marvel Unlimited right now. The first like maybe dozen or so.
Yeah, you've got about I think about 14 issues
yeah.
up on Marvel Unlimited.
It's awesome. But it's also great because it really bleeds well into the one that started it all, which was Brian K. Vaughan, and I'm blanking on the artist's name.
Adrian Alfona.
Thank you. See,
I
book,
love the Runaways too.
Runaways is amazing, and it's one of the few, I think, Marvel books that kind of introduced a whole handful of new characters. It was a really unique spin. I mean, Brian K. Vaughan is I think one of the best comic writers ever, and this is like peak, some of his Marvel work. So if you love the Runaways show or the current run, go back. Treat yourself. It's all on there, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Is there anybody
Agreed.
out here who has not read the original Runaways?
Anybody?
Oh, there's a couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
man.
I'm so proud of so many of you who have. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
you
we give
should
away some stuff?
do
Do we have
that
anything more to
thing.
give away? Give away things.
Give away more
Get up off your
things.
butt and do it.
Okay, last but not least is an absolutely insane, I was going to swear, but I saw kids, comic.
Thank you.
Are there any Star Wars fans here? Anybody? Okay. So
Well.
there were a lot of really kind of crazy, weird, Empire Strikes
in
Back.
between
Yeah.
the
extended
original
universe.
Yeah,
trilogy.
the extended universe was an awesome and terrifying and weird place. And some of it is amazing, some of it is insane. This one happens to be written by a young upstart comic creator. I believe his name is Alan Moore. You may or may not have heard of him. He did things like The Watchmen and, I don't know, V for Vendetta, other items.
Various comics across the universe.
And he was the original writer on Miracle Man. This book is nuts. I mean, if you've ever wanted to see C-3PO and R2-D2 get dumped on a trash planet of droids that have become self-aware and want to blow up the universe, just run, do not walk to this comic. It's absolutely nuts. It's 3 little short stories, and they're amazing. They're all great.
I have a print copy of this issue.
What?
Yeah, I bought it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because I was like, oh, Star Wars. I saw Alan Moore had written it. I never thought we would make it available for everyone to read
know.
because it's so obscure.
So
it's
weird.
So weird, but it is in Marvel Unlimited along with thousands of Star Wars comics.
Thousands. If you love the old stuff, the weird stuff, Jackson, the Green Rabbit, it's all there, and it's all great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about Marvel Unlimited, because you can get for whatever kind of comics you like, whether it is Murder and Sunshine or Sassy or Murder and Sunshine.
Yeah.
You can get what you love.
We've got a minute left.
Very sad.
If you had to pick one comic series as your favorite from Marvel, is there one that you could pick? Would it just be oh, yeah, I'll take 500 issues of Uncanny X-Men?
Yeah, I would say Fantastic Four. I love Marvel's First Family. I love those characters. I love stories about families.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best.
Shannon?
I would have to go with Morrison's New X-Men. That's the single run I've reread the most times. It's cohesive, it's coherent, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is always a remarkable thing in a comic book series, and it doesn't feel like it got cut off too soon or overstayed its welcome.
I love that.
What about
Angélique,
you?
do you have a pick?
Oh, look at us being so polite and handing it over. I would have to say it is really a mix between Squirrel Girl and Runaways, because I like to laugh, but I also like to cry.
Yay! For me, it's going to be the 1989 through the 90s series of What If, because you get every single type of character and story, and it is wonderful, and they almost all end in chaos and disorder, and that's it. Thank you for hanging out and watching Marvel's The Polis!
Hey, welcome back to Marvel Live from San Diego Comic-Con 2019, brought to you by our good friends at TikTok. I'm Langston.
I'm Lorraine, and we're here with Editor-in-Chief